Welcome back to the neighborhood, boys and girls. Our next guest is Pat Gorman from Keller Williams. Pat, welcome back to the neighborhood.
Thank you very much for having me back.
Yes, we had some technical difficulties on our first interview, so this one's going to be better than ever.
Absolutely.
We're going to go over a little bit of the stuff. We talk about your road to where you're at right now all the time. We like to get into the personal side of things. So talk a little bit about pre-real estate, Pat, and how you got to the place that you're at right now, like your road, your path.
Certainly. So I started with real estate early. I came right out of high school and I was going to college and I always wanted to invest in real estate. So I actually started investing in real estate and I went to my first settlement. And I really felt like I could do a better job representing myself. So,
right.
And plus, you wanted to be on the ground floor, and you wanted to have your finger on the pulse. And I figured more deals would come my way, and it would be perfect. So, so that's what I did. So I got my license, and I worked my way all the way through college, selling real estate and investing at the same time, and it was great. And we had success, and even back then, I would do I would always have. About like 6 to 10 deals in process. And, back then anybody could get a mortgage, anyone with a pulse. And some of them, we had a pretty high fallout rate, but it was fun and I enjoyed it. And then I graduated college and I took a job in the Midwest with a buddy of mine and we sold packaging. And I was there for about 3 years and it was a very cool experience. We got to work with some really high level people making money, making really serious money. And it was a really cool learning event, and I definitely learned a lot. And it was time to come. Me and my wife wanted to get married, and we wanted to start a family. And my wife was really homesick. I was homesick as well, but my wife really was not a happy camper in Ohio. So we moved back to...
There aren't many happy people in Ohio. Let's be real about it. And nobody from Ohio is watching this, but let me tell you, it's not the Prozac capital of the world for nothing. You know what I mean?
To that point, I was in Columbus, and in the Great Lakes, the clouds come south, and Columbus has clouds. It's so cloudy all the time, so much to where it's like Eskimos. People wear like lights on their hats, and it's so flat. And I'm not used to being flat, but it was like you were just engulfed in gray. It would suck your soul. But there's great people there. And we had a lot of fun, no doubt about it. But it was not the place for me. And even America before they had radars, they actually keep a lot of our bombs in that area because planes couldn't see it from the ground because the ground cover, you can't see anything. So we came back and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little arrogant. I kind of felt like, why did I go to school to be a real estate agent? And I bounced around looking for, another real job and another real career and I had a lot of failure. I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of trial and error. We had a lot of failures. I started a family. I was going to work before my kids woke up, and I would come home from work and my kids would be asleep. And it was really important to me that my wife be able to stay home with my kids until they were school age, until they could talk for themselves and explain the situation. It was really important to me. And we had twins, and I wasn't ready for one, let alone two. And it was a massive undertaking, and I wanted to provide that opportunity to my wife and my kids. So eventually, 2016, 2017, I said to myself, I'll never forgive myself if I don't go all in and try it and give it my all and give it the good old college try. And if I fail, I fail, and if it works, great. But I'm going to try it. So we put together, 3 to 6 months of bills, and we put together a serious marketing budget, and I got some people to finally back me with some advertising, and it worked. So we were just grinding, and we've grounded into a successful business. We do about 150 transactions a year. I'm a little heavy investor side of life, but we specialize in helping investors, and they can be anywhere on the spectrum, but we really take people that really want to grow exponentially fast.
Sure.
They want to go from 10 to 50, 50 to 100, 200 to 500, 500 to 1,000. And there's inventory issues. So But that's what we do, and we help companies and investors grow rapidly, and we're more than happy to help anyone. And we love the retail business too. My wife has been running the retail sides of things. And no disrespect to normal real estate, but to me it's very simple. Like a normal, you should have your regular, I have my house in Cherry Hill or Voorhees and I want to sell it to somebody that wants to buy it. It's just so straightforward and to me a very simple and easy process. It's very easy to avoid most of your big pitfalls, especially right now. I didn't want to stigmatize myself as only the investor guy, and I won't, sell a home for anyone, but
your bread and butter is
bread and butter is investors, without a doubt.
I got to ask one follow-up question, because there's a part of the story that you started out with that to me is kind of crazy. Where did you come up with the business plan to be a real estate investor while you were in college? Like, did you see someone else doing that, or did you hear someone do it? Because not many college students are like, yeah, by the way, I'm going to class and then I'm going to flip some properties and do some transactions. Like, where did that come from?
That's a really good question. I don't even... I was always an entrepreneurial kid, and I don't think there's a lot of things that normal, especially an 18-year-old, can get into that can amass wealth quickly. I can't get into the pharmaceutical game or big oil or guns and ammo or banking, but I could get into real estate and the tax advantages that came along with it and access to capital, which was a little easier back then.
Sure.
It just seemed to me the easiest and best route to accumulate what I thought was wealth then as fast as humanly possible.
Did you have a family member that was involved in the business, or? I
did not. I had a friend of mine. I was always interested in doing it, and a friend of mine, his dad had a brokerage, and that's who I started working for.
Okay.
And I was blessed to start working for him because, he came from the old school thought of, you prospected for your money, right? You
Sure.
picked up the phone and you dialed.
Smile and dial.
Hammer
the phone.
And working the phones and going and door knocking. And that's what we did. And we actually moved our office. While I was with him, he moved position of his office from one city to another, and we just we started right here. We took all the blocks and we worked outwards. I don't remember what the book was, but it was basically like a phone book, but for streets. And I would start at one side of the street, and we would just work our way through. And we called everyone. You wanted to introduce ourselves. We're new to the neighborhood. We're here to help. And anybody that's looking to buy or sell real estate. Are you looking to buy or sell real estate? And door knocked, and that's where we got our success from. And I was very fortunate to do that. And I've been around the block with brokerages, and I'm here to tell you, there's not a lot of brokerages that really, an agent will be saying, I'm having trouble, I'm not having any success, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and nothing is working. I guarantee you, if you break down how many calls or posts or that they did every day in a consistent manner, it's going to be very little.
It's crazy. I have that conversation. People are like, I'm not really getting it. I'm not really successful. I'm like, well, tell me what you're doing. What are you doing to generate business? Are you making social media posts? Are you sending messages? Are you calling people? Are you joining groups? Are you doing this? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, well, what are you doing then?
Right. Well, waiting for them to fall in my lap,
you're sitting at your desk and hey, I put one post out, or I called this lead one time and left them a message and they never called me back. I'm like, you gotta hammer that, you know what I mean? Like that's the realm that we grew up in.
Right.
We grew up in we told this mistruth. I don't want to call it a lie. We told the mistruth that we had a dialer. We never had a dialer. We were hand dialing it. But if someone complained that we called them too much, we were just like, hey, sorry, we have a dialer, and it just dials you as many times as it can until you answer the phone because you requested information.
Absolutely.
And that wasn't true. We were hammering the phone. But if you were calling people 100 times, like if I had to call you 100 times, you applied on LendingTree or you applied on a website to get a quote for a mortgage, and I was going to give it to you. Whether it was 100 times or if you just said, stop calling me, at least you were off my prospect list and I can move on to the next one, You're
definitely going to call until you say no, right? Go pound sand. Until you tell me to go pound sand, I'm going to continue to call you to try to help, right? We're all trying to help at the end of the day, and we're trying to get the business, but I just don't see a lot of that going around. And even, I just made a recent move to KW, and there's serious agents that are making, serious money that you would think would be above cold calling.
Cold calling.
Cold calling.
Yeah, like people don't understand when you say big producers, 18, $24 million a year in business are cold calling. People will look you dead in the eye and say you're lying. There's no way.
50
They're
million,
not doing it.
80 million every day.
Cold
8 to 11,
calling.
cold calling.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
And it's how they built the business to begin with. And it's back to the basics. And it's nice to see. It's nice to see. It's nice to see in a culture where they tell people what you really have to do, show you a real roadmap on how to create a successful real estate business. They give you the tools to implement all that good stuff, and it's shocking to me that more brokerages aren't just on the simple fact of how many calls did you make?
Yeah.
I mean, and how many relationships did you forge? Like you said, how many groups have you joined? And I don't do a ton of cold calling. I'm not going to lie. But I talk real estate from the second I open my eyes till I close them, all day, every day. That's all I do. And deals come from all over the place when you do that. So it's not as targeted or systematic as I would like it. But it works. I mean, that's all we do. And if I had time to cold call, I'd be cold calling.
Right. Now, what do you do social media wise? Because that's like the big buzz, and everybody kind of does something. Are you Facebook, Instagram? Are you messing around with TikTok at all? Are you doing any of the younger type social medias? What are you doing for PR and advertising?
We've been lacking in a big way. So I'm hiring a marketing firm to help me with it, and I really want to put out good content on a regular basis. And I forget who it was that was saying it, but someone was saying like Zillow shouldn't even exist. If us as realtors were doing our job and we were sending out market updates and what's your house worth and we had the best search engine, there'd be no reason for Zillow. Zillow wouldn't even exist. And it's important. Where
to work your sphere? Is that
to work your sphere? But we were talking about
social media
my social
process.
media.
Yeah.
So my social media is pathetic, and we're having somebody help us.
Let's
get
not
to
beat
where we
around the
need to
bush.
go. So I'm part of the problem. Why Zillow is existing, but it really hit home to me. That message really hit home to me that I'm not doing my job by reaching out to my sphere with all those good market updates and sharing my search engine. And we got a new one, which is fantastic. So we're going to be stepping up our social media in a big way, and like we calculated our advertising budget last year, and it came out to like 2.7%, which is not enough. So
sure.
So we need to up the ante in a big way and really scream from the mountaintops what we're doing and as well as the opportunities that we have for agents as well. I have opportunities for agents to really hit the ground running to six figures, very quickly. And, no one's going to know about the opportunity if I don't tell them about the opportunity. So, I need to take responsibility for that and really let the people know the opportunities that we have out there and the agents know. And that's something that we're definitely working on right now.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the future, because we talk about the past. Let's move forward. Bring yourself 2 years into the future. Tell me some goals or some accomplishments that you see yourself hitting or you see yourself going to in the next 2 years.
So I really want to start focusing a little bit more on my own investments. I work so hard tirelessly on other people's investments, and I'm happy to do it. However, I need to start thinking a little bit like an investor first, when I see the deal. And there's nothing wrong with grabbing a piece of the pie for yourself. And to not do it is insane. It's literally like insider trading.
You're making everyone else rich, but you're not looking at yourself future.
And my family, right? My family, my kids, my wife, and a real exit strategy. So that is something that I'm going to be focusing on more, and growing the team. We would like to grow the team. I would really like to get to 10 within the next about 24 months. And we're really looking for quality over quantity. I really just want, good people to create a good atmosphere, and a good culture, and people that want to work and want to get it done. Is really, I would really hope that we get to 10 within 24 months at least. I think that's a very easy obtainable goal.
Okay. And what about on the personal side? Do you have anything like, hey, I want to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro, or I want to run a marathon? Is there any like things that you can think about on there that you have goal wise that you want to accomplish?
And I was talking to a buddy of mine, Tom, the other day, and he was saying, our bodies start dying at 32, something to that effect, and your muscles start getting atrophy, and you really need to stay on top of it. And I just turned 42 last week, and I really need to focus on health, my own health, exercising more, and somebody invited me out to run a couple months ago at like 6 in the morning. Not that 6 in the morning is a problem, but I don't think me and running 5 miles with anyone is going to help me with business anyways. I'm going to be keeled over, gasping for air. It's not going to be a good look. But I really need to get my act together when it comes to health. And it's not just about money. You want to be around here to be able to spend it, right? So
if you're rich and a vegetable, it ain't really worth being rich. You know what I mean? Like,
not really.
You can't take it with you, and you got to be healthy enough to enjoy it.
Absolutely, 100%. And no one wants to be in pain. And I had a lot of back issues, through my 20s and 30s, and it's a double-edged sword. So I just really need to stay on top of it. And an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Sure, for sure. All right. Now we'll do your personal question. Last time when it didn't work out, did I give you sports or did I give you music?
You gave me one person.
One person you're going to interview.
One person, yes.
Okay, we're not going to do that one now. So we're going to do music. We're going to do music.
Okay.
So you can have any band or any musician throughout history come and play at your house next Friday night. Who is the act that you would pick, and what are the 2 songs that you would want to hear them play?
I think it would. I would like to meet Axl Rose, but I think it would be more fun to meet Eddie Vedder. I think Eddie Vedder would be a real kick.
Okay.
And
there's so many.
I really like a lot of his like remakes, like "Sitting at the Dock of the Bay" or what do you do? Keep on rocking in the free world. He did Neil Young.
Yeah.
I like one, so there's Yellow
did
Ledbetter
collaboration work with Chris Cornell with Hunger Strike and all that. Although you couldn't have Chris Cornell, but you could do anything you want in this one. But
yeah,
I'm all.
I think Yellow Ledbetter wouldn't be terrible, and I would do Once as well.
All right, awesome, man. Pat, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be back next week with another edition of Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood.